Yeah.
People are behind this one, and I appreciate your getting out there and reminding them to say so.
And that's so now. This is probably online after the afterwards. So a person sitting out there, when they, because look, they're totally confused with all the stuff that's going on, really, in terms of basic stuff. Is this really just the basic things that people are going through? Credit cards, mortgages, stuff like that?
This agency is about the real heart of it. It's credit cards, it's mortgages, it's payday loans, it's check cashers. That's what this is about. And it's about making sure people don't get ripped off. That's our job.
Now you're set up, it's set up under the Treasury Department.
We're under the Treasury right now. But as soon as we get all our pieces in place, we actually will move over to the Fed and become, in effect, a very independent agency, but under the Fed. We'll be over with the banking regulators, which is where we belong.
Now you talk about this whole deal in terms of, you said on the show, structure is so important. It's absolutely correct, because I think as some things have been created, it was sort of hodgepodge. As you've been going through this, have you been sitting here saying, man, how in the world was that set up? What?
So let me tell you an example of this. It just knocks me over. So there are 2 forms at a real estate closing. You remember that stack of papers?
Yep,
Well,
yep.
one of them is called a TILA form, and one of them is called a RESPA form. These things, according to the community bankers I've talked with, have about an 80% overlap. So same information, but organized differently in different words. So they got to go through and fill these things out. They come right at the end. Nobody reads them. It's sign here, sign here, sign here. Very little value to the consumer. So you'd think maybe you kind of might combine those 2 forms. You ready for this? There are 2 different agencies that own these forms. They have been negotiating about combining these 2 forms for more than 15 years.
Well, now you said they're about 80% the same.
Yeah.
So 15 years.
And they can't get it to 1 form. So here's the good news. We got 1 agency, it's going to be 1 form, because both agencies have to give it to us. And
15 years?
15 years. More than 15 years. Think about this. There are people who met, married, fell in love, had kids, in the length of time.
Now surely when you saw that, you were going, okay, you guys are kidding me.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was doing. But the reality is, that's where it is. So look, there are going to be places where we're going to be able to get things working better, working smoother. And here's the real key. It's while everybody's around doing that, it's kind of like watch the shiny object over here. We missed the huge stuff that was going on. So here are agencies that were fighting over long forms that nobody could read, very complicated. And we had a whole subprime mortgage train that roared through and mowed everybody down.
But isn't that the example you use? Isn't that a perfect indication, though, of when your critics are saying they need more accountability, but really what you're doing is holding all these other agencies accountable by saying, this stuff hasn't been working, now let's make it simple and it actually work more.
That's right. In fact, accountability, it's about accountability both ways. It's about making the government accountable. It's also about making these financial institutions accountable. I'm for accountability. I started with the Congressional Oversight Panel. I did accountability. That was I didn't come to Washington because I said, please, can you find a job for me? They called me and said, would you come run the oversight of TARP, the ultimate accountability? And I said I would, as a matter of public service. But look, we got to hold financial institutions accountable. That's our job, and we've got to hold regulators accountable for holding those guys accountable. And that's what we're going to do at this consumer agency.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Take care. It's good to see you, sir.
Absolutely.
Take care.
All right.